Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
What is that?
You don't remember Welcome Back, Kotter?
Who?
Welcome Back, Kotter.
So is that where Mace sampled that one song from?
Yes. You don't remember Welcome Back, Kotter?
No.
Welcome Back, Kotter was this amazing show with the guy that played the dad on American Dream, Jacksonfied Dad. He played Joe Jackson. And then John Travolta, and then like 10 other people.
Okay.
It was a really good show.
You'll have to show me that.
I'm
not
one
familiar.
of those. I will show you that. Wait, I'm thinking of WKRP.
I don't know what that is either.
Well, Welcome Back, Kotter was a really good show. Probably what, 60s, 70s. Anyway, point is.
Oh, that's why I don't know it. You way older than me.
I'm so old.
Mm-hmm.
Point is, we're back, guys.
Yeah,
Welcome back to TTRL. Terra Talks, Ryan Listens.
TTRL. Where the hell y'all been? I mean, you know, we've been places.
Yeah.
So here's the long and short of it. We both travel a lot for our jobs, like our main primary sources of income, according to the government. And then my business that I run had me running all over the country a little bit. Had a couple weddings to shoot. I was in Philadelphia for a minute. Was in Dallas for a minute. Yeah, I was all over the place. And a weekly podcast schedule just simply wasn't conducive to our traveling conditions, because there was at one point where I left and then you left while I was gone and was gone when I got back, and I left again before you got back. So yeah, we didn't see, it was a good week and a half where we didn't see each other at all. So yeah.
And the thing is, when we travel together, you know, we try to, you know, work it out where we can.
Because we can bring a microphone with us together.
Yeah. But us traveling separately, it just wasn't working out. And everyone who asked about the podcast, I just want to say thank you, because it was a good reminder that people actually are listening and want to hear from us every week. So we love y'all.
Yeah. We appreciate that. I would say Jinx, but then if I say Jinx, I got to do the whole show by myself. So I'll pass.
Yeah, don't do that. So, again, thanks for your patience while we've been gone, but we are back and we are excited to be back with you. So while we were gone, I had the pleasure of hosting a panel discussion for the film, a short film called Focus.
Yeah, y'all heard the little preview ad thing that we were running for a little while. Shout out to Day Vision Films.
Shout out to Day Vision Films. And that private screening was amazing.
Yeah, I wasn't even here in town for that, so I didn't get to see it because, you know, I would have been in there with my camera. But I heard it was great.
It was great.
I finally got to watch the film once I got back. And yeah,
it was
amazing. It was amazing.
It really was.
It was such a realistic story. I
just want to say there's such a need for Black storytellers and for creating your own content. So I'm just like super, super proud of Michael Day for being one of those Black storytellers and for creating your own content and for, you know, stepping out there on faith and just giving us an amazing product in that short film Focus. It's definitely so good. So I just want to say shout out to Mike Day. Go ahead and check out dayvisionfilms.com and purchase some merch. Go ahead and find the song Focus. It's by Mike Day and it's on Tidal and
basically everywhere you can stream music.
Yeah, wherever you get music. But go ahead and give him some streams and go ahead and get some merch and check that out. But yeah, it was amazing. I'm super excited about that. And thank you again, Mike, for allowing me to host the panel discussion. It was definitely my pleasure. I enjoyed it. I always love stuff like that.
And I love watching you get to do stuff like that. So that was awesome.
Oh, thanks. Shout out to Melissa Fredericks.
Who was that?
From the Love Hour. That's Mrs. Kev on stage. And the whole month of October, she did a theme for their podcast called For Women Only. And it was basically Kev had the month off and she hosted it by herself and brought on doctors to talk about women's health. And let me tell you, I love their podcast. But those episodes in October were some of my favorites. I laughed out loud. I nodded along. I learned a lot. I mean, it was some stuff that I already knew just because my mom's a nurse. So, and I have friends who are doctors. So, I mean, I've kind of had some of those discussions already, but it was really cool to get just a little bit more educated on things like that in terms of women's health. And it was just, so many good perspectives on stuff like that. So I would say definitely go check it out if you haven't already. She's dispelling myths, y'all. Dispelling myths. And let me just say, one of the topics that she talked about, I actually, the night before I listened, or maybe it was like a few days before I listened to the podcast, a few of my girlfriends and I were talking about that very topic. And we were like basically not even really arguing, but just talking it out about like, what do you think about this and what about that? And, we don't know, we were like, man, we really need Zoe, who's like one of our friends who's a doctor. Shout out to Zoe. But she recently moved away, of course, big,
Right. She finished her residency.
Yes. But the thing is like, there's just such a need for Black female doctors. Because I mean, it's just anyway, it's a lot, but yeah, I'll check out that podcast. And especially for women, I encourage you to just learn a little bit more. But I think it could be educational for men as well.
I agree. There's a lot of times where I'm sure we'll talk about why that could be educational for men as well. I'm sure you have a tip about that.
You think I have a tip? Okay.
I'm almost certain you have a tip.
Okay.
About that.
So
okay, y'all know where I'm going with this, right?
We'll get to that later. No, I got it. Okay, so happy belated Halloween, y'all.
Yeah, that Halloween.
Do you like Halloween?
We missed Halloween. Halloween is alright. It's sometimes I have really good ideas for costumes.
You always do, like months in advance.
Like months in advance, like, oh, that's what I'm gonna be for Halloween. That's what I'm gonna do for Halloween. But we never have plans on Halloween. I'm too lazy to go trick or treat.
Well, you really can't trick or treat after a certain age, but it's like Halloween parties is what I'm thinking of. I would love to have like just a killer couples costume, but I am too cheap, y'all. I mean, seriously, I think costumes are a waste of money. I'm just going to be honest. They're so expensive. Which is why
my ideas are always something that I can make or create or, pay for small parts of and then put the rest together myself.
See, I love stuff like that, but I'm not that creative at all. Like when I was in college, one of my friends put on just like a blue shirt and put some cotton balls on it and said she was partly cloudy. And I was like, that is brilliant. Here I am. I can't ever think of anything. But y'all, I love seeing Halloween costumes. And, I would say my favorite from this year in terms of celebrity costumes would be Russell and Sierra basically dressing up as Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah, I think that was pretty dope. They really absolutely nailed that. I think the last time I really dressed up for Halloween was when I was in college. And a lot of people still to this day say I look like Malik Wright from The Game. So that was always my costume. I would just put clothes on and go to a party. And everyone's like, who are you? I'm like, I'm Malik Wright. And then start acting like Malik Wright from The Game. And it worked out perfectly every single time. All I had to do was get dressed. So it worked out.
Yeah.
I did that for about 4 years in a row.
I just got dressed one year. I literally just put on some pearls and what I thought was the semi-slutty, semi-classy outfit. And went as Michelle Obama. Definitely not calling Michelle Obama slutty. I'm just saying I was in college, so I was trying to be cute, but I was also trying to look like presidential or first lady-ish.
So you were sexy Michelle Obama.
I was attempting to be sexy Michelle Obama.
There you go.
And I had like a Obama pin or something on or whatever, but
Yeah. One year I found a t-shirt that I didn't need anymore and I ripped it up and put holes in it. And then I put on a do-rag and I had a sign, like a little cardboard sign. And the sign said, and this is when we were in college. So the sign said, my refund check never came.
That's hilarious.
So basically I was just like, depending on my refund check to hit my account, and it didn't. So then I was a bum. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was the last time I really just put a costume together. Other than that, I would just Malik Wright every year.
I really love giving candy out. Like I enjoy looking at kids and like seeing their costumes and then just giving them candy. Like I'm that old. I just want to give out candy. I don't want to get creative or spend money or try to think of a costume. But we got to do it one year. I really love, honestly, the way the Johnsons on Blackish do their family costumes. I'm like, we got to do some really dope family costumes when we have kids. But we're failing at couples costumes, so it's not
we
looking
have yet
up
to do our Mortal Kombat costume.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be easy for me. All I gotta do is buy a ski mask and then just like put on a hoodie and some sweatsuits, and then get like the I guess I don't know what it's called, but get the thing. So then I could be like Scorpion or Sub-Zero or Smoke or Noob Saibot or Reptile or Ermac, because they basically all got the same outfit in Mortal Kombat 2 or 3.
Right.
So I could just pick the color and do that, and then you could get the little dress and then put on some really tall boots and grab the little fan and be Katana.
I love Katana.
Yeah.
I have to paint on some abs to be Katana.
Well, you can get the one where she has the dress on, because the one where she had a whole dress. Yeah.
It's just a joke.
Did you see the picture I sent you of a bunch of? Anyway,
Yes.
You saw it? Okay,
I know
cool.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I was totally joking. So
Why would you? Anyway, carry on.
what are your favorite Halloween movies?
I don't really have one.
Well, I'll tell you, my favorite is Hocus Pocus.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I was obsessed with Hocus Pocus. Like, it came out when I was really little, and I love that movie. Absolutely love that movie.
Hocus Pocus has what's her name in it, right?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
No, that's not what I'm thinking about.
And Bette Midler.
That's what I'm thinking about.
And the other lady that I love but can't remember her name ever. And they recently recreated their costume, which was pretty dope. Halloween Town. You didn't like Halloween Town?
I haven't seen Halloween Town.
Oh my gosh.
Or
Halloween
Hocus
Town
Pocus.
was really good. Casper the Friendly Ghost.
The last Casper anything I saw, I was like 6.
I mean, yeah, I was little. I haven't seen it in a while, but
And
it
I
was
think it was
good.
just a TV episode. I don't think it was a movie.
Would you consider Scary Movie a Halloween movie?
Absolutely.
I never saw Scary
It's
Movie.
not a horror movie, but it's a Halloween movie. It's a comedy inspired by a horror movie.
Somebody said Coco, and I have not seen Coco.
It's about
The Day of the Dead,
yeah.
de los Muertos, but which is not technically Halloween, but
it's not a horror movie.
Yeah.
But like Halloween doesn't have to be scary is what I'm trying to get people to
Right, just like
understand.
Casper. Yeah, it's not scary. And Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Somebody sent me that one.
Interesting. I think I've only seen the
I
Charlie Brown
liked that when
Christmas
I was
movie.
younger. I mean, I used to watch all of them, but I'm not going to sit down and watch it right now. So, happy belated birthday to me.
We did miss your birthday on this podcast.
I mean, really. We just missed so much.
We missed so much.
We've
So
been
here we
gone.
are catching up. You
So,
had yet another birthday.
I did.
And you don't look like it.
Oh, you was so sweet.
It's like you're having birthdays faster than you're aging, which is awesome.
That's the goal. Let me tell you. My mama is doing the same thing, so she gives me hope.
It runs in the family.
I have a question.
What's your question?
Is it tacky to post your Cash
Yes.
App on your birthday? Really?
Nah, I'm playing. It's not.
Oh, because I was going to do it, but I was like, am I too old for that? Is that tacky? Is that like, okay, when we were in middle school, people used to pin dollars to their chest. And then like, so what you would do, you had to safety pin $1 to start yourself off. So people would be like, oh, is it your birthday? Oh, here you go. And they would give you dollars. You remember that?
Here's the thing. 1, nobody carries cash anymore.
Exactly.
2, we live in a digital world.
Exactly.
On social media. We used to walk around and we wanted people to give us dollars on our birthday. Now, we don't really do that
And
because
I'm not going to see the people
we're
that
not going
would
to
give
see
me
the
a dollar.
vast majority of these people. So putting your Cash App, I see people do that all the time. And
I see people do it too, but I
often give people a dollar.
I needed to know.
It's not
Is that
tacky.
tacky?
You should have done it. If I had known you were battling that, I would have told you to do it.
Yeah, I really was. And I thought about it. Regrets.
Yeah, next year.
All right. So let's go ahead and hop into this timeline. Eh?
Into your what?
What's in my timeline?
It's like you said time life.
Timeline.
You said it weird.
So I'm just going to say, obviously, some of this is hashtag old news because we've been gone a while, but I still wanted to talk
Again,
about
we're
it.
catching up.
Yeah. So Ellen spoke out after the picture with George W. And this sparked a whole national conversation. Basically, the question is, can you be friends with someone who doesn't have the same views as you?
Is that really a question? You and I don't have the same views about a lot of stuff when we're getting married.
So Ellen said, I'm friends with George Bush. In fact, I'm friends with a lot of people who don't share the same beliefs that I have. We're all different, and I think that we've forgotten that that's okay.
Thank you.
So here's the thing. I'm torn on this one. So yes, I have friends who I don't share all the same views with. But I do have some deal breakers for friendships.
What are they?
I
said, what are they?
It's kind of like it's like mostly like social justice things,
Yeah.
Immigration, women's rights, health issues, racism.
The obvious things.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a difference between disagreeing and wanting someone dead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, you can say I know this is probably controversial too, but there are some people who maybe don't agree with the LGBTQ plus quote lifestyle, and I know that's not a thing either anyway, but are not you should die, or I don't know. I don't know how to put it.
It's just so here's the deal. We're friends with people who still eat Chick-fil-A.
Right. So there's there's a line. I don't know.
So here's the deal. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to condone it. But all I'm saying is leave people the hell alone.
Exactly. There's kind of a,
if it has nothing to do with your life
way.
Okay, this man and this other man living together in a happy home ain't got nothing to do with your life. And if you're just seriously that miserable to the point where you got to go out and waste your own time complaining about how they live when it does not affect anything in your life, no, we're not going to be friends. Because I'm not going to waste my time with people who waste their own time about stupid stuff.
I will admit,
That's
though,
so stupid.
George Bush just seems like a happy idiot compared to what we have now. It's like, he just didn't know better. Yeah, we're like, he didn't.
George
know.
Bush is an idiot.
Yeah,
he should not have been president.
Probably didn't
want to be. I'm convinced he didn't want to be president. He had to follow in Daddy's footsteps to avenge Daddy. That's all it was.
And we all know about
HW was like the
pressure.
first president who didn't get a second term. He was one of the first people to not get a second term during that era. And then after that, George Bush had to run. W. Bush had to run and had to go for his second term. But just to,
But the point is, I don't think people should bash Ellen for having a picture with George Bush, because when Michelle Obama takes a picture with George Bush, everyone thinks it's adorable.
Aww.
They have different views on a lot of things, but they found a way to find common ground. That's all I'm saying.
George Bush has any actual views.
I mean, he probably don't. He probably ain't got no views. You be painting.
He should have been a painter.
He just be painting.
He's a talented painter. He should have focused on that.
Just painting. Jennifer Aniston joined Instagram.
She wasn't on Instagram?
She joined Instagram.
I didn't know she wasn't.
I
didn't know Will Smith wasn't on Instagram.
Until he showed up, and then it was like, oh, hello there. Thank you.
Right.
I love it. I just love when celebrities are like, oh, hello, here I am. What's this? Help me. It's adorable. A lot of celebrities welcomed her to IG, like Dolly Parton. And of course, a lot of her, quote, friends. Courtney Cox post was the best.
Let's see what she did there.
Her post was basically parallel to the, last line in the first episode that was welcome to adulthood. You're gonna hate it or you'll love it. It's terrible. Something like that, which it was appropriate for IG too. Gosh. Another police shooting happened while we were away in a Black person's home. So entirely ridiculously similar to the Botham John.
Yeah, I think we're saying his
scenario.
name wrong. I think it's Botham John.
Botham John, sorry. So RIP to Tatiana Jefferson.
You said her name wrong too. Tatiana.
What did I say?
You said Tatiana.
I said a Tatiana.
Okay.
or at least I thought I did. Sorry. 28-year-old woman who was just in her own home, minding her business, spending quality time playing video games with her nephew. Like, I am not that far from 28. I have a niece and nephews and little cousins, and I enjoy playing video games. And so this is like very relatable, and it's sad because we used to just be afraid of getting pulled over, but now we can't even
be at the house.
You can't even just be in your house minding your own business.
And then white people got the nerve to be like, I don't see what the problem is. Why are black people always complaining about racism? Why do people mess with the police? Okay, first of all, we don't mess with the police. This whole Blue Lives Matter thing, it's like, sure, I get it. If you got a family member that's a cop and you want them to be safe. We all want the police to be safe. But at the same time, we want to be safe.
Exactly.
We don't start stuff with the cops.
Where are we safe?
It's not us. It's not us starting stuff. It's these people in uniforms with badges and guns,
right,
who see brown skin and get scared.
And the fact that
who aren't fit to be cops.
Unarmed black people are being killed is so disturbing, because in my mind, even if someone did something wrong, let's say you rob a bank or whatever, you commit whatever crime, that still does not mean you should be murdered on sight.
Nah.
Like, I mean, that's worse than the death penalty. I mean, at least the death penalty, you get some form of trial.
Yeah.
You wait it out. Like, no, you are getting executed on sight, and there is no just, let's arrest this person and, let's get them. No, you don't even get that.
No.
It's just sad. Okay.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, moving on.
R.I.P. Tatiana.
Absolutely.
Condolences to your family. I am not remotely mad at her uncle talking about I don't want no hug.
Yeah. Well, that was her dad. Her father.
Dad, yeah, my bad.
Yeah. So Twitter is no longer accepting political ads,
making it a safe space for people like me who don't want to read about politics and all the stuff that politicians or reality TV stars who happen to be in the White House are lying about. So yeah, good. I might start using Twitter again, because I have not used Twitter I haven't seriously used Twitter in probably 5 years now.
I think it's a good first step. I mean, obviously there's so many issues with social media and politics. But yeah, I'm a fan. So I don't know if you heard about this, but did you hear about our girl from Jane the Virgin saying the N-word?
Oh yeah, I heard the clip.
What'd you think?
I was really hoping you weren't going to ask me this. All right, so here's my thing. I'm probably going to get so much backlash and feedback and hate mail, but whatever. Here we go. I have not ever really had a problem with Hispanic people, Latino people saying that word.
Latinx,
yeah. Especially in certain contexts. So here's the deal. I grew up listening to South Park Mexican, who was a Mexican from South Park in Houston, Texas. 90% of his songs said it. So apparently he was part of Screwed Up Clique, or at least that's what most of his songs said. It didn't seem to be a problem then. Maybe it was. I don't know, because I didn't really get on the South Park Mexican until after he was in prison, and then I learned what he was in prison for, and then that's what I had a problem with. But it just didn't seem. Again, this is my personal experiences. I've heard white people say it a lot, and I can do one of two things. I can react, or I can be like, you know what? This isn't worth me getting an assault charge over, and just walking away. Now I know more about this person that I didn't know before, and I'm just gonna, act accordingly around this person. That didn't really bother me. I'm gonna be honest.
So I, would never admit this, but I guess I'm about to. But I agree with you. I remember when J-Lo said it on Ain't It Funny? Was it Ain't It Funny remix?
Mm-hmm. No,
or
it was
I'm Real on I'm Real
remix.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even notice I didn't even notice. I did not even notice. I did not even notice. Till years later when someone brought it up, I was like, oh, she did say that. Oh, like I literally was just singing along and did not even realize, oh, that's problematic. I'm going to go on record as an intellectual academic and say it's not okay. You are not a part of this community. It is wrong. I'm just going to say as a person, for me personally, I go back to the intent and it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't hit my ear the same way as a racist white person who spits it out with venom.
Yeah.
I will say this. There are a lot of Hispanic or Latinx people who grew up in the hood, in the Bronx.
Like Fat Joe.
Yeah, I mean.
Big Pun.
Same thing, J-Lo. And I'm sure same thing with Gina Rodriguez. And a lot of other people who had a similar experience, grew up with black friends, grew up, down the street from whoever, and they were just they grew up saying it. Here's my issue with this situation. Why would you say it on Instagram?
Yeah.
And then apologize horribly.
Yeah, that was
that was the most trash apology I've ever seen in my life. It was the most insincere apology I've ever seen in my life.
And the thing is, she didn't apologize for saying it.
She
apologized if anybody was offended. Right.
And I hate those apologies because you might as well have kept it. You might as well have been silent. And she has had multiple accusations of being anti-black, and I don't think any of those were really that bad. I mean, there is, anyway, I'm not going to get into the previous ones, but for this one in particular, I just think she was really stupid and needs a better PR agent or better people around her to be like, oh my gosh, girl, what are you doing? Delete that. And she was just sitting in the chair getting her hair and makeup done and singing along to a Lauryn Hill song. Did we need to have you share that? I mean, why did you post that? I just don't.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
I don't get that. I think that was really stupid of her to do. I mean, just think about how many white people say it all the time. And
that scene in Atlanta where Childish Gambino's Donald Glover's character was talking to his friend, and then the white guy, he was just like, yeah, man, he played a Flo Rida song 3 times in a row. And I was like, really, Nick?
Yes. Oh,
and then he made him retell that same story in front of Paperboy and Darius.
And he censored himself. Exactly. That is exactly where I was going with that. Thank you.
And and he was like, I don't know why he made me tell that story. Oh, it was funny the first time you told it.
So yeah.
And see, it's just like, I'm the type of person where I would rather find a way to check the person who said it like that. Yeah. It's like, why did you feel comfortable saying it in front of me? But I bet you won't say it in front of these guys over here.
Yeah. So my advice to Gina, whoever your black friends are that said, oh, it's cool, you just say it around them.
Say it to them.
Don't say it to the world.
Right. Because it's like, look, everybody's going to react differently. Here's my thing. If a white person says it to me, like if I just hear them say it, like it just casually in conversation, not even trying to be venomous or whatever. If I just hear them say it, I'm not just going to steal off and punch them like everybody, like anybody else would. Or like if they rapping along and I'm not going to do that. It is hate speech. It is legally considered hate speech. And if I feel the need to defend myself, I will. But I'm usually not going to waste my time or energy on you being what most people just call ignorant.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, again, it's just like, I'm not giving anybody a pass to say it if you're not black. I'm not giving, this is not permission.
No.
So be very clear.
No.
You do not have my permission to say it.
No.
I don't care who you are.
No.
I'm not giving anybody permission to say it straight up. Now, again, when it comes from certain people who may or may not, like even back when DJ Khaled used to say it.
Yeah.
He's Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Which, if you want to get technical and scientific.
Hold up now. They ain't ready.
They're not ready, so I'm just gonna skip that. Mm-hmm. Here's an example. I was shooting a party one time, and I'm just walking around taking pictures of people. That's what I do. And I walk up to this Mexican guy, and I was like, "Hey, yo, you want to take a picture?" His response, He was with a group of his friends. They were on the other side of it was like on the other side of the pool table, some blah, blah, blah. I was like, yo, you want to take a picture? He was like, nah, I'm good, but the niggas over there might. And I was like, okay, bet. 5 steps later, towards them niggas over there, who were also Mexican, I was just like, did he
just?
Damn, why didn't that bother me? It just, coming from certain people in certain contexts, it doesn't bother me. Didn't bother me when Khaled says it. Doesn't bother me when Fat Joe says it. Didn't bother me when J-Lo said it. That particular Gina Rodriguez thing didn't really bother me either. Again, I'm not giving nobody a pass.
Absolutely not.
You got to take that up with the entire black community.
Yes.
I'm not the representative.
I'm just saying I'm still going to watch Jane the Virgin.
Yeah, I don't think that's a reason to stop.
This is not yet. But if y'all don't know what we're talking about, Kev on Stage has the best video for it. So go find his video.
Why you ain't send me the video?
Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
Oh, we got to watch it together because it is epic. So the new Kanye album.
You can keep it. I'm not paying attention to anything else Kanye says. I'm
to
officially
listen.
done with Kanye. I'm not canceling him. I'm just simply done.
I refuse to listen.
Y'all got it.
There are a lot of Christians supporting him on my timeline, and a lot of secular folks who are not. I'm a Christian, and I'm not listening to it. Donald Trump Jr. endorsed it, so that I mean, if I was ever going to listen, that turned me off. Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, never say never, but I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I can't see it enhancing my life in any way that would require me to listen to it.
I'm good, love, enjoy.
Like, Kanye been talking about God for years.
Exactly, from the beginning.
Back when he was woke.
Yep.
And, you know, I saw a meme. Let me tell you this, and we're going to move on because, honestly, I don't give a damn about Kanye.
Yeah.
I saw a meme, a picture of George Bush, and it simply said, Kanye West doesn't care about black people.
Yep. I saw that.
I died.
Yep.
I absolutely died. That was the funniest thing I've seen in quite some time.
Oh, who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it?
If you would have told me 10 years ago.
If that Kanye, who said George Bush doesn't care about black people, made a gospel album and was like, oh, everybody look, I'm all about God now, then I would listen to it.
But also slavery was a choice.
If that slavery was a choice, then he said something else after that, you know, after all of that died down and there people started to forget about it. Him being a Trump dick rider, I'm done.
Yeah. No,
look, if you want to vote for Donald Trump, that's fine. That's your opinion. You have every single right to vote for whoever the hell you want to vote. And he didn't even vote. Like, if you have those types of views, that is your right. You have the right to do that. But don't sit here and condemn me for being Democrat. It's like, it simply doesn't work. You're doing the exact same thing that you're trying to shame me for. Like, oh, just because we black, we got to all be Democrats? No. And then this dumbass talking about the Republicans freed the slaves. I'm like, yeah, you do realize that was
different iteration.
There was a different iteration. There was after I can't remember what exactly the event was that shifted.
Little history.
Yeah, but honestly, again, the college dropout who didn't graduate. I would expect him to know that.
Honestly, the funniest thing out of all of this is him now expecting Kim to cover up, and I'm like, do you not realize who you married?
I could have, bro. I was trying to say that from jump, but you didn't want to listen. I was like, so you do realize that she's always naked, like all over the place, even after kids.
And she has every right.
And she has every single right to do that. That's her job. She's a model. What else do you expect? So whatever. I have no sympathy for Kanye. It's like I had sympathy at one point when I realized that he was starting to go crazy. But this was back in 2010 when we first. Well, when did 808s and Heartbreak came out?
I think that was 2010.
That had to have been 9.
Oh, maybe 9
or 8.
Okay.
Because I remember the dorm I was in when I first heard it, and it was sophomore year. So yeah, that point when we all started thinking, okay, what's going on in this man's head? At that point, that's when I started having sympathy for him.
Yeah, that was just grief.
It was grief. But then Dark Twisted Fantasy and then the Yeezus album, none of it got better from there. It only got worse. Then he starts making all of these pro-Trump comments, and I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so is this a mental breakdown or true redemption? Like,
I'm going to call it a mental breakdown.
I'm with you.
Maybe a combination of the two.
We shall see.
We'll see.
So,
because he's not going to shut up anytime soon. No. What I will say is the video clips I've seen of his choir performing, they sound amazing.
Of course.
And had it been anybody else, I would be all over these R&B remixes, R&B gospel remixes. I'd be all over it. The only one I've seen, or the only one that I accidentally watched, was when they sang Soul Anchored to the tune of So Anxious by Genuine. That was like brilliant. I loved it. But yeah, sorry. I'm not gonna I don't need to hear anymore.
Yeah, him being good at music was never the question.
No, that's not he's absolutely a musical genius. I'm not going to take that away from him.
But so is R. Kelly.
But so is R. Kelly.
So there we go.
We know what it is. It's when dudes from Chicago, when musical geniuses from Chicago lose their mama.
Wow.
They lose their mind.
Okay.
And I've been saying that for years.
Wow. So T.I. Apparently checks his daughter's hymen every year on her birthday.
That's the tip I was talking about. T.I.P. T.I.P.
Yeah.
Get it.
Got it.
Educate these men.
So
I just thought about this whole situation again. I'm like, it gets even stupider the more I think about it. Because first of all, checking a hymen does not indicate anything.
It doesn't.
Because your hymen can break during anything, like
sports,
a bumpy
riding a
enough
bike,
roller coaster, gymnastics, tampons,
just life,
stretching too hard, all kind of stuff.
And also every person is different. Every hymen is different.
Yeah, it's
honestly, like, if men, if T.I., if fathers, if anyone wanted to learn a little bit more and be a little bit more educated, I definitely recommend listening to that For Women Only series on the Love Hour. Seriously, because I'm saddened that he thought this was okay. Even more saddened that Tiny, I'm assuming, is allowing this. I don't think this is their daughter together. I don't know. I can't remember how long they've been together. Yeah, I guess they've been together long enough to have had her. Anyway, point is, whoever her mother is, that she thinks this is okay, and that the daughter thinks this is okay. Let me tell you right now.
I don't think she does, because everybody who was speaking out against it on social media, she was liking their comments.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. But she's going along with it. But he probably threatened to cut her off.
Yeah. She just turned 18. She didn't have a lot of choice.
I mean, this is disgusting.
It kind of is.
It's so disgusting.
At first,
so
it's
patriarchal.
like, oh, he's going to the doctor with his daughter. Yay. But then we found out why, and it's just like, oh, come on.
That's disgusting. I mean, it's just ridiculous. First of all, I mean, most of us kind of grew up in the purity era, that whole abstinence only movement. And the thing is, like, there is a way, again, back to the Love Hour. There is a way to talk to your children, not just your daughters. What are you telling your sons? Because I guarantee you he's not going with his sons to no doctor.
Nah.
Obviously, there's no hymen or anything to check.
Like, we don't have gynecologists.
But the point is, I guarantee you he's not sitting his sons down and being like, are you still a virgin? Like,
of course not.
There's such a double standard.
There's a double standard.
Such a double standard. It's ridiculous. But there's a way to talk to your children without this kind of misogyny and patriarchy. And I'm literally getting so upset just even
and we can move right
about
along.
It. Yeah, we're gonna move on.
It's also not the most comfortable thing in the world talking about this girl's hymen.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Like, this girl's hymen shouldn't be news.
Honestly, and that's the weirdest part about it, is the fact that it's trending, and I'm like, this poor girl.
Right.
Like, imagine her.
She just turned 18. She still got to live her life after this.
Exactly. That's just so disgusting. I don't even know why he felt comfortable bringing it up on an interview. Like, that's so gross. Ugh. So
in other news, I was finna try to redeem T.I., but it's really not.
Thank you. No.
I was just finna say that he listed Igloo Australia as one of the what did he say? A tarnish on the reputation of his musical career or something like that.
Well, that's good. At least that he admitted that.
Admits that was a terrible idea. She was the Brat ripoff. That's it. That's all she was. Is some white girl from Australia ripping off the Brat. That was it. And I'm like so surprised that nobody else caught on to that. It's just like, I thought it was the Brat. I'm like, oh wait, the Brat dropped a new song after all these years? What? Okay. And then I was like, oh, that's not the Brat. That's just some girl trying to sound like the Brat. And I'm really upset that nobody else was upset about that. But okay, anyway, carry on.
So Kamala Harris wants to extend the school day to 6 p.m.
Girl, sis, you out your mind. You just lost my vote. I ain't finna vote for you because it's already not enough teachers and teachers don't get paid enough, and now you want to make them work more. That's all I've been seeing on Facebook all day.
Everybody on my timeline is up in arms. And I have a lot of friends who are teachers, and I know y'all don't want to be there till 6. Honestly, a lot of people, obviously we know teachers are overworked and underpaid. I haven't read all into what the actual bill proposal is, but I do know that the headlines are quite misleading.
The headlines are misleading AF. Like, seriously, people, I need y'all to know better. You have to read the whole story. The headline could have easily been written by somebody who is running against her. The media is controlling your mind, because if you don't read the whole story or do any research for yourself, you're going to believe whatever you read. And a lot of the times you're going to read something stupid and believe it and be wrong.
Yeah. You just got to watch the debates, y'all. Like, don't really pay attention to all these headlines.
So I'm going to save you a few minutes. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what the bill. I'm not going to give you the whole thing. I still want you to go read it. Now, the American workday is traditionally from 9 to 5.
Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living.
So, yeah, there's that. Meaning parents got to drop their kids off and work until after their kids get out of school. During this time, children are free to pretty much do whatever. A lot of kids have keys to their homes.
Latchkey kids.
Yeah. And then that's funny. Hi, Tiffany. A lot of kids have keys to the home. Sometimes these kids forget the key. Like, oh no, I left my key in my locker. Oh no, I left my key in the house this morning. Oh no, now I got to sit here in front of my house. Some kids don't live in safe neighborhoods. So some kids are able to go out and do other things that sometimes they shouldn't do.
There's after school programs.
There's after school programs. And then a lot of parents can't afford these after school programs because it's becoming extremely expensive to play youth sports now. Like I read something about, again, I don't know how true this is because I just kind of skimmed over the conversation, but somebody said it costs like $10,000 per student to play high school football at a public school.
Wow.
That's ridiculous because when I played baseball in high school, I had to pay for cleats and a glove and whatever additional gear I wanted. That was it, So I don't really get that. Carry on. The point is if the students have somewhere safe to be, they're less likely to be other places where they shouldn't. They're less likely to be other places where they are perfectly reasonable for being and then being harassed by cops or being harassed by neighborhood bullies or being harassed by whatever, or being snatched up by somebody and then going on the missing black girls list, which is about 64,000 names long right now. So the point is, if you would have read the story, you would see that extending it actually makes sense. Now, I'm not saying I'm in favor of this. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm also not saying it's a bad idea. What I personally think is a better idea is adjusting the American workday.
Come on, sis.
There are so many different countries who don't subscribe to that 8 to 5, 5 days a week, 40 hours a week kind of thing. Some places only work 32 hours a week for a full-time job. Some places still work 40 hours a week, but they do 10-hour days, 4 days a week. And some people, like a lot of these countries, have higher productivity rates once they switch.
And some places have where you can choose your own schedule. Like, do you want to do an 8 to 5 or do you want to do 10-4s or do you want to do, they have more flexibility.
There's certain companies where, back when I was in Dallas, I had a job where I worked 10 to 7 every day. And that was perfect because I got up at like 9 something. I was able to sleep till about 8:45, 9 o'clock and get up, take my time and still get to work on time. I left at 7 and during both of these commutes, the traffic was dramatically lighter. I wasn't in that 7 o'clock traffic. I wasn't in that 5 o'clock traffic. And I still had plenty of time to leave work and then go out and be social because I was in my early 20s at the time. I still had time to go out and kick it with everybody because most of the kicking and stuff didn't really start till like 7 or 8 o'clock anyway. So I would leave work and go straight to kick it. And it worked out perfectly for me. I was actually upset when I got promoted and then they offered me, oh, you can come and work 8 to 5 now. I was like, oh man. But you know what? Okay, let me just go ahead and do it. So yeah, there's other ways around that. And if you work 10 to 7, you can drop your kids off at 8 o'clock, pick them up on your lunch break, take them home, and then get off work at 7, and then still have an entire evening from the time you get off till the time the kids have to go to bed to have time with your kids. And if both parents are working, if there's, say it's a 2-parent household, if one's working 8 to 5, the other one's working 7 to 10, then the flexibility is a lot greater in the schedule. So again, I'm not disagreeing with Kamala Harris. I agree. Kamala, whatever name. Is it Kamala? Kamala. It looks like Kamala. So I'm not disagreeing with her.
Oh, Cammy.
I'm
just kidding.
I'm not disagreeing and I'm not agreeing. What I will say is that I read it and I get it.
I will say, I would rather hear her talk about it than read an article and take
that was written by somebody that's not her.
Yeah, I would rather hear her explain it all together. So I'm just gonna wait in the debates. Also, we gotta acknowledge that there's, titles of articles nowadays are honestly forever, but even more so nowadays are just written so that we'll click on them and get outraged and share it. And that's what we're doing. So, speaking of a trending topic.
What you got?
Popeyes sandwiches bag.
Man, hold up. How many of those have I had now?
I was going to say, how many have we had since they came back?
I think I'm on like 12. Well, since they came back.
So I only had one before they ran out.
So before they ran out, I had 6. I think I'm on like 12 now.
I've only had 1, 2. I've only had 3 since they came back.
Since they came back, I think I've had a whole nother 6.
How have you had 6 and I had 3?
Because I had 2 the first night when we got them. So they came back on a Sunday. I had 2 that night.
Well, Friday. It came back Friday here.
They came back on a Sunday,
They advertised Sunday.
But
we got it that Friday.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like they weren't supposed to release it. But they did, because it was like, whatever. Y'all know it's back, whatever, here, take it. So I had every intention of showing up on Sunday. But then when you told me that somebody was able to get it Friday, I was like, forget it, let's go. And yeah, so I had 2 that night.
And then I had 1 that night.
And then, I'm on 11, because we had another one, like, what was that, Sunday? On the day that actually supposed to have come back, I had 1. And then I had 2 the other day when I was on my work trip. So that's 5 since they've been back.
Oh, okay.
Point is,
so you only had those 2 while you're out of town without me. I was trying to figure out how many you had without me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was one moment, like after they left, like 3 weeks after they ran out, I was in Memphis for work, and Memphis, Tennessee, and then they just randomly had them. I was like, okay, give me 2 of them. So yeah. Point is, the sandwich is amazing. If you still one of those people that's bragging about being, oh no, I still haven't had a Popeye's chicken sandwich and I never will. Okay, that's you missing out. This is an amazing sandwich. It's the only crispy chicken sandwich that's 1, actually crispy. 2, it has all the flavors we know and love of Popeye's chicken.
Mm-hmm.
3,
that spicy mayo.
That spicy mayo is amazing.
The pickles.
4, the bun. And then 5, them damn pickles.
Those are the pickles that SpongeBob tucked in that night.
That's exactly where they came from. Those are the pickles from a Krabby Patty. Those pickles were recently cucumbers. They were not sitting in a jar of vinegar
on
for
the
the last 10 years before they hit the market.
Those are some good cucumbers.
Not them little neon green slices of pickles with holes in them because they so thinly sliced because they're trying to be cheap.
Yeah.
Nah, those are real pickles.
So yeah, if you don't like it, I don't care. But
that's you.
If you like it, I want to talk about it because I love it. I've literally been walking up to people being like, have you had a sandwich? What you think?
Right. It's a great sandwich. It's a great conversation starter. And they are so petty for bringing it back on a Sunday when their primary competitor was closed.
I love it.
That's so funny. Brilliant marketing.
I'm done with Chick-fil-A, and it's for other reasons, but I'm grateful to have a superior chicken sandwich in my life now.
Absolutely, because it is absolutely better.
So I have been absolutely dying of laughter, just completely getting my life with these white cat memes.
Oh my gosh, that cat. Yo, I saw the cat. I saw them. I first started seeing them like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I only saw like 3 or 4 of them, and I was like, those are funny. I want more. So I started looking for more, but didn't know how to search for it. And
but then they
came.
Week
later, a week or 2 later, after I first saw the first few, it blew up, and now it's a whole big thing.
I love it.
I have been getting my life.
So my favorites, I just got a couple favorites. FAFSA,
man,
versus FAFSA.
And it's just like, it's so funny.
I mean, we work in higher ed, so absolutely, I know that it's FAFSA, but I'm gonna keep saying FAFSA. I don't care.
I think I accidentally said FAFSA today.
Honestly, the best part about this meme is it is a really great representation of the difference between someone that's just always insisting on being politically correct and right, and no, this is the way you pronounce it, versus like I would say really me, but also just black people in general being like, no, this is how I say it. Yeah, I know that it's not finna, and I'm still gonna say finna.
It's going to.
No, I'm still finna say finna.
It's fixing to. It's about to. No,
it's finna. Like when we grew up, it was called Ebonics.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I speak Ebonics. Like I know how
A-A-V-E.
I know how to speak proper English, of course, but also sometimes I just want to say finna.
I have to speak proper English when I'm at work, or I don't have to. I choose to speak proper English when I'm at work, but outside of that, ain't nobody telling me how to talk.
Code switching. I mean, for real.
Ain't nobody telling me how to talk.
The other one that I really liked, hold me closer, tiny dancer, versus Tony Danza. I'm just always going to say Tony Danza. I know that it's Tiny Dancer. I don't care.
I always say, tie me down, sir.
What are y'all about to do versus what y'all finna do? What y'all finna do? Casino versus
the boat.
When I was a kid, I was like, I can't wait to grow up and go to the boat. I really was like, every time my like aunts and uncles and like grandma would be like, I'm going to the boat, I was like, man, I cannot wait to grow up so I can go to the boat. And
that's
gamble.
some southern right there.
It is just so southern. My favorite one, I have a lot of faves. I literally just grabbed a handful to share with y'all, but my absolute favorite one has got to be, he died in his sleep.
Woke up dead. Yo, can we just like start using profanity on this show?
No.
Please, because we do it in real life. I feel like we're being fake by trying to keep the show clean now. It's just, it makes certain things harder. But anyway, yeah, woke up dead. If you saw the meme, you know what it actually said, and Terry won't let me say it, so.
I mean, you can say it, but you gotta bleep it out.
I don't feel like doing all that.
Okay, then he woke up dead.
and again, they're just so hilarious because it's a matter of interpretation.
It is.
You know, a lot of the times nobody's giving us homework assignments or tests on these phrases, so it really doesn't matter how you say it because we all know what you mean. Like I saw one today, Ebony posted one that said, it said catalyst converter. It's a car part, right? And then the cat said Cadillac converter. The gag is they were both wrong. It's catalytic converter. But everybody always say, oh yeah, you need to change the Cadillac converter. It's catalytic converter. And I grew up hearing people say Cadillac converter. Yeah, Cadillac converter. I'm like, why is there a Cadillac converter on this Jeep? Jeep and Cadillac are two different brands. Why is there a Cadillac converter on a Nissan? What's going on here? Then I eventually realized it's catalytic converter.
You know another good one?
What?
Grandmother has diabetes. Big mama got that sugar.
Tough.
I remember being a kid and being like, you got the sugar? What does that mean? You got the sugar? What kind of diagnosis is that?
Too funny.
So yes, I know some of y'all probably tired of them because they are everywhere, but I'm not tired of it yet.
Yeah, no, I've been enjoying them. And then a lot of them are a bit more, a bit more localized, not as widely known. And they're all still funny. Like if you get them, they're funny.
Well, that's all that I have on my timeline.
Oh, one more for me.
What you got?
Instead of the white woman screaming, it had a guy in some dramatic lighting. It said, I am a photographer. And then Cat was like, picture man. You the picture man. I'm like, no, I'm a photographer.
You the picture man.
Too funny. You know I've been getting such a kick out of these.
You know it.
Oh, man. Okay.
That is all that has been on my timeline.
There's been a lot on your timeline in the last forever.
It has, but that's all I feel like talking about today.
That's real. All right. Let's jump right into this weirdo stuff.
Obscure.
Yeah. Am I on the right? I am not on the right thing. There we go.
Obscure news.
I'm sitting here looking at the previous week. All right. No, I'm not. See, I told you I clicked on the wrong thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. Maybe I did. I don't know. I can't tell. Either way. All right. Let's go jump back into that extended workday stuff real quick. Study shows that remote workers are happier and stay in jobs longer.
Wow.
So here's the deal. Again, I work in higher education. A lot of my job requires me to travel, to go to specific locations, specific places, to specific events. When I have to do that, it's fine. When I don't have to do that, I'm sitting in an office. About 80% of what I do from that office can be done from anywhere in the world. There's only about 20% of the time where I actually need to be sitting there so people can look at me doing stuff. And when I'm sitting there, really nobody's looking at me. So it's just not a lot of reason for a lot of people in careers to be in offices nowadays. It's really not. Study finds that full-time remote workers have reported being happy in their jobs 22% more than workers who are never remote, meaning always on location. Remote workers reported having better work-life balance, focus, and less stress. That's obvious. Companies that give the workers more flexibility were likely to retain. So yeah, they don't need to go anywhere, because when you work from where you want to work, there's it's like 60% of your problems that you deal with in the workplace disappear if you're not in a workplace. Remote workers will also work longer hours. They reported working over 40 hours a week, 43% more than non-remote workers. Because think about it. One, you got to drive to get places. You got to show up. You got to look a certain way. You got to act a certain way. You got to do X, Y, and Z. And then you got to drive back home. Now, if I can just work from home all day, I can wake up when I feel like waking up and get so much more stuff done over the course of fewer hours. So even then, it's just like I'm more productive because I don't have people asking me questions all day and inviting me to random meetings that could have been emails. So yeah, I absolutely agree with this, and I really think I should push for it myself. I doubt it'll happen.
See, I had a opportunity to work from home, but there were multiple reasons why I didn't end up taking that job. And I just tried to picture it, like, would I really like that? You know what I mean? Because I'm a very social person, and I think I need that social interaction. I think I need to get up, leave the house, go be around people, and then come home. But I would like maybe a hybrid option. I would like for there to be an option to, like, hey, such and such is going on. I'm working from home today.
There's a lot of the times where I show up at 8 o'clock and I'm done with the vast majority of my work for the entire week within an hour or two. And then I feel bad just sitting there.
And that's the weird thing is it kind of feels very elementary to be like, you have to have your butt in your seat from 8 to 5. Like, I kind of feel like back when you were maybe working on factories or manual labor, things like that. Yeah, you had to report to a location and work for a certain amount of time and then go home. But now, like you said, a lot of the stuff that we do could certainly be done from, anywhere.
Right. Walk in, answer emails.
Go into the office when you have appointments or when you have
appointments, when I have meetings,
paperwork to turn in,
presentations,
meetings.
Stuff to actually physically sign and turn in. Yeah, absolutely. I'll come to work for that. But, if I'm just doing my work, creating things on a computer
on a laptop,
screen, that they straight up gave me a laptop. So, like, if I can't work from other places, what's the point of me having this laptop? Half the time, like I said, get there, do my work, I'm done in an hour, and I'm sitting there for the rest of the day. I'm like, hey, I'm going to Starbucks. Y'all want anything? Anybody want something from Starbucks? And I still not allowed to take long lunches, even though my work is done. So yeah, I'm just back in the office. It's just so much. Anyway, there was that. Didn't mean for that to be as long as it did. I really feel like I read this story already. So if I did, I apologize. Blame Tara. She said I didn't. Man allegedly robs bank to pay for wedding, and the fiance turns him in. Trinity County, Texas, a man was taken into custody after he turned himself in for robbing a bank to pay for a ring and a venue for his wedding. I totally get it.
I get it as well.
I get it.
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah. Heath Bumpus walked into a bank, told the teller he had a weapon and demanded money, according to KTRE. This is in, again, Trinity County, Texas. I'm not exactly sure where Trinity County is. He made off with an unspecified amount of cash in the gray Ford Focus. The police had posted the surveillance video stills of Bumpus on their Facebook post, and his fiance saw the Facebook post and basically said, hey, go turn yourself in. And he turned himself in. So it looks like they didn't get married, because apparently this is the day before the wedding. Yeah.
You know what?
Because I feel like you said you wouldn't have snitched on me.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would not turn you in for that. But and it is tempting. Weddings are expensive, y'all.
Yeah.
I would just wish there was a way to charge admission, because I'm just thinking about how many people we're gonna have to feed.
I meant to tell you about that. So one of my friends from college posted a thing and said, "Is it tacky to charge a cover to get into my wedding?" A lot of people were like, "It's your wedding. Do what you want to do." A lot of other people were like, "I get it. Weddings are expensive. I can't say I would do it, but I get it." A lot of people were like, "Heck yeah, that's a good idea. Do it." And then a lot of people were like, that's just tacky. If you can't afford no wedding, then you don't need to have no wedding. You don't need to be getting married because you ain't got no money. And that's my basic chick voice.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know who you are if you sound like that. Point is, it's like, I get it. I absolutely, and I'm not against it, because here's the thing. A wedding is ultimately me inviting you to a venue that I'm paying for.
Yep.
And feeding you with expensive food that I'm paying for.
Yep.
And providing you with unlimited alcoholic beverages that I'm paying for.
Yep.
In a dress and a tuxedo that I'm paying for.
Mm-hmm.
And giving away party favors and other things that I'm paying for you to dance to a DJ that I'm paying for, and have your picture taken by a photographer that I'm paying for, and for you to say well wishes words on a video held by a videographer that I'm paying for. So if I got to pay for all of this to share the fact that I love this woman, you can contribute. Now, I get in turn, we're supposed to receive a bunch of wedding gifts, and that's cool. But frankly, I'd rather have the cash.
Yes.
Like, if everybody would just, if we could request wedding gift dollar amounts of 50 and up, then yeah, I would totally do that. Because one meal at a wedding can be like $60 to $80 to $120 a plate. And a lot of people don't realize that. And the people who were so against it, I looked on these profiles and a bunch of them were single. Like, don't have a boyfriend. I'm talking like no boyfriend, single.
So,
like, I'm not talking about not married single and dating single. I'm talking about single.
So I think that the problem is parents used to pay for their kids' weddings.
Yeah, this is back when the daughter would leave the mama's house to get married.
Now people are getting married older, and this millennial generation in particular is saddled with a lot of student loan debt and not making what we are worth in terms of salary and several other factors. And so, yeah, it is tough. And I'm just going to say our wedding is not even going to be like on the expensive end of what the national average is. It's not even going to be close to the national average.
It's not even close to the national average. We're being as cheap as we can.
And it's still expensive.
It's still racking up.
Yeah. So I understand this man. I get it.
Now, this is not us saying that we condone robbery.
No.
Or stealing.
No, of course not.
Or theft of any kind.
But I see how you got there.
I get it.
See how you got there.
Yeah. All right. So let's pay a visit to our friend Florida Man.
What's
I also
Florida
feel
Man
like I read
doing?
this already too. But a Florida man paid off the lunch debt for more than 400 students. He hopes that others will follow suit.
You did read that.
Yeah. So, and I feel like, because if they were both, these links were both on the same thing, I feel like I should have read them both.
Okay.
But anyway, Beacon Cove Elementary was up to 90. Yeah, so it was a lot of people. Here's the thing. These lunch debts are a real thing. So these kids are going to school and they owe money for a previous lunch that they ate or previous lunches that they ate. And today and tomorrow they can't eat until that money is paid off. Meaning kids are going to school and not having lunch at school. A lot of these kids are only eating food at school.
Right.
So there's a problem. And salute to this particular Florida man. Let me find his name so I can say it. I don't see the man's name. Let me find the man's name because he deserves to have his name said really loudly. Andrew Levy. Andrew Levy, salute to you. And a lot of people are like, well, parents need to take it. Well, it's not that simple. Because I feel like if it was that simple, they would feed their kid. Okay. And again, if you ain't ever been through nothing, you won't get it. So yeah, again, let me go find some lunch dates to pay off because I really like that idea.
I would love to do that. Absolutely.
That's the only reason I want to be rich, so I can give it away.
Just randomly give away money. Yep.
The only reason I want to be rich. I don't really care about anything else.
Yep.
So yeah, the world needs more compassionate people to be a better place. And yeah, again, Andrew Levy, salute to you. And last but not least, this is weird and it's going to be a little controversial. Oxford University Student Union is replacing clapping with jazz hands.
First of all, I just want to say it's not jazz hands. It's literally applause in sign language.
Okay.
These are jazz hands. Jazz hands. This is, I know it's similar, but it's really not the same thing. And when you're talking about clapping, it's not jazz hands. I think that was just a catchy title and an idiotic one at that. No,
it's that's what the university called it. That's what Oxford called it.
I know that's what they called it, but that's incorrect.
I agree. It is.
Someone, a part of the ASL community.
Yeah, and it says British Sign Language expression for applause.
Exactly. It's not jazz hands. It's sign language for applause.
This particular article says jazz hands, a hand-waving motion popularized on stage and screened by choreographer Bob Fosse, Fosse, is the British Sign Language expression for applause. So basically, they're trying to, they're being considerate of students who have anxiety disorders, sensory disorders, things like that. But here's the thing. And also, applause for the hearing impaired students. But clapping is also a physical and visually obvious symbol that also has its own sound for applause. So basically they're saying that at graduations, they want to stop people from clapping to basically not scare the kids who it scares or who it bothers or who it's, too much for. And it's like, I get it, but you can also, I don't know. I don't really know. And then my next question is what of jazz hands? If jazz hands becomes the new applause, then what are we going to do for jazz hands?
Jazz hands are used in a dance.
Yeah, I have theater background. I know what jazz hands are. I know how to use jazz hands. Okay. But yeah, I guess because you don't clap for yourself in the middle of a show, so then that becomes the new clapping. You get what I'm saying? I
totally get what you're saying.
And it's like I get where this is coming from.
It's coming from a good place, but I don't think it.
I don't know.
The right execution.
I don't think it's the right execution. And there's several other universities apparently in the United Kingdom that already do this. The National Union of Students in the United Kingdom started using jazz hands back in 2015, and Manchester Student Union sanctioned a clapping ban just last year. So apparently it's catching on in the United Kingdom. I can't imagine it catching on in the United States simply because somewhere between people in the United States of America not liking to change things for people who need consideration, I don't see it catching on. So what are y'all's thoughts on any of these stories? Let us know. Shoot us a DM, shoot us a comment, let us know what you think. If you have made it this far, you may now treat yourself to listening to our listener letters.
So if you want to send us a letter, you just shoot us an email at askttrl@gmail.com. That's askttrl@gmail.com. And so...
Wait, what are you telling me to do?
I just want to know how much time it's been.
Oh, yeah. We are at an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, I figured this was going to be a long episode anyway.
I know.
Because we got to catch up.
So, first off, we have an update from someone. I don't remember what name we gave this person, so I am just going to call them Peter.
Okay.
For Halloween.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
So,
I see what you did there.
Peter says, "Hey guys, I also work in higher ed. Shout out. MPHC higher ed group me is how I found y'all. So,
oh, nice.
Yes,
I didn't. Nobody was clicking like.
Yeah,
nobody
so
was liking that, so I didn't think anybody was paying
that.
attention. Shout out to y'all. I'm gonna go drop this in there again.
Yes. So Peter says, I also work in higher ed, so I've been traveling for work too. Sorry for the delayed follow-up, but here's what happened.
So wait.
Oh yeah, give the background to the original
So let's
story.
talk about what originally happened. Basically, this young man was dating a young woman, and he this is the guy who said she has bad breath from her mouth that speaks life.
That gives life.
Yeah.
Speaks life.
I think it was speaks life.
Yeah.
Basically he was saying her special area was a little funky. And we spent we spent quite a bit of time talking about when the causes of this and basically how he should handle it. And we gave him advice. I'm like, look, just sit her down, talk to her, make sure nobody's around, make sure Alexa's not listening, make sure Google Home's not listening, make sure the Apple speaker thing isn't listening, make sure nobody's around. Literally between you and her, say that to her and only her, and be as delicate as you can. She still might get offended, she still might kill you, but it needs to be discussed.
She might be upset, but it's better coming from you than someone else.
Right.
So the follow-up, he says, here's what happened. Nothing.
Nothing?
Or at least nothing on my part. I wanted to take your advice and address it, but thought it would be easier to bring it up, quote, as it occurred instead of out of nowhere.
That makes sense.
So now I'm wondering if she also listens to your podcast and heard my letter. Maybe someone else got to her first. Either way, it's been 2 months with no more, quote, bad breath. LMAO. Thanks for your help.
Oh, that's good.
That is good.
That is good.
So maybe she listens to our podcast, or maybe she listens to the
Another
Love Hour
podcast, because we're not the only people that talk about this.
Mrs. Kev on Stage had a lot of experts talking about that, and there's just so much great information, and it's very, 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 very helpful. And honestly, they talked about bacterial vaginosis, which we mentioned, which is super common, and so many other things. So shout out to you for being delicate and trying to find the right time. I think that's really awesome and really sweet. I'm glad that you haven't had to bring it up and it hasn't been an issue lately. That's definitely good news.
That would have been rough either way.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody's sensitive. Like if you tell somebody they have bad breath from their actual...
we called him Dominic Toretto because it was the guy that liked Fast and Furious.
Okay, Dominic Toretto. So Dominic... that's obviously it would be difficult to hear, but I'm glad that it seemed to solve itself.
He also asked what my thoughts were about Hobbs and Shaw. So here's the deal. I tried to watch them on the plane, and my AirPods were acting up that day, so I just gave up and didn't finish it. So far, so good, but I still got to watch the last 20, 30 minutes of it.
Well, you got to watch it with me. I want to watch it.
I'll wait for you. Carry on. What were you saying? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
It's okay. I mean, I was just saying this is super common. I actually have seen this, other people mention it on social media. And right after we had the episode, Kev on Stage, his podcast, Dear Kev, had an episode with a very similar question. So yeah, it's definitely a very common issue. Here's the thing. When you have internal genitalia versus external genitalia, it's just a different situation. Yeah. It just is. So, I mean, obviously, if it's a really bad odor, there could be, an medical issue that needs to be treated, or different lifestyle things that need to change. But so, maybe she just been eating pineapple and drinking water. Who knows?
Yeah.
So
it could be that simple.
Congrats. I'm glad things are good. If you ever need anything else, definitely just let us know.
Absolutely.
So our next letter comes from Steve.
What up, Steve?
And Steve asks us, why does Thanksgiving get the cold shoulder?
Whatever do you mean, sir?
So I have noticed a lot of people being upset that we go straight from Halloween to Christmas.
Who does?
Society.
Does it?
Yes. You haven't seen people already like putting up their Christmas trees and listening to Christmas music. And there's the Christmas tree treats that I love, the Little Debbie's. They already out. They've been out since right after
Here's
Halloween.
my 2 theories. What would a Thanksgiving song be about?
And that is my point. We don't have Thanksgiving songs. We don't have Thanksgiving movies. We don't have like there's no Thanksgiving candy. So I have a candy jar in my office. Literally, I went straight from Halloween candy to Christmas candy. And everybody that walks in my office is like, oh, you got Christmas candy, yay. There's no Thanksgiving candy. First of all, like my Friendsgiving playlist is literally just songs I like.
True.
Like a vibe that I'm trying to set. There is no turkey, turkey, here you come. We are going to kill you.
Yum.
Yum, yum.
Because you say come.
Cranberry sauce. We love the cranberry sauce.
And then the second thing you got to think, this is true. Because, I mean, yeah, that's literally what a Thanksgiving song would be. And then the second thing is Thanksgiving does not have the brightest origin.
It does not. Let's be real. Okay, come on, talk about it.
Because ultimately, Thanksgiving is the results of a mass genocide of the people who inhabited this land before this dumbass white guy named Christopher Columbus claimed that he discovered it.
How you discover something that's already
thousands of people living here.
Here's the thing. I celebrate Thanksgiving just like I celebrate the 4th of July. I'm not celebrating the holiday. I'm just off work and eating food.
Right.
Yes. Kicking it with family or friends. Like that's literally all it is. So I only need Thursday for that.
Yeah.
I don't need all of November. I just don't. Be honest. Like I'm good. Like I will immediately go into Christmas mode right after Halloween. First of all, it's my birthday and I love Christmas. And then at the end of the month, give me some turkey, give me some cranberry sauce. Like Thanksgiving has amazing food. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But after that, we getting gifts. You know, I mean, I do hate that Black Friday used to be on a Friday and now starts like before you can even digest your food.
Oh yeah, you can order. My boss was online looking for a computer today, and she asked me which one she should get, and I was like, probably get that one. And I was explaining why, and I look over and I was like, Black Friday prices now. So,
are you serious?
So serious. I think she was on Best Buy's website.
Wow. So yeah, the companies are trying to get as much money out of us as they can. So they've stretched Black Friday back. Now that's a different issue. That's a corporate America issue. But in terms of like why humans skip past Thanksgiving or give it the cold shoulder, as you said, Steve, it's really a matter of one, I'm not too excited about celebrating Pilgrims and Native Americans, which we grew up, it was Pilgrims and Indians.
Right.
And I never understood that. You know, it's just like, it's just different. It's just different. When you grow up and you unlearn all the stuff you learned in K through 12 and you actually learn the true history behind stuff, it's just not even fun anymore.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like
we could easily argue the origins of Halloween from the Christian standpoint. Notice I say Christian. Because that's those folks, the Christians, and then the Christians, and then the people who believe in Christianity. You can argue all day long about, it's a demonic holiday where all the monsters come out and the spirits, or little kids dress up like their favorite movie characters and eat candy. Because that's ultimately what it is. I
mean, honestly, people argue about every holiday. We opened up this show talking about how people hate Valentine's Day.
Right.
So, I mean, like, really, people, hate a lot of holidays. But
just like we can argue about Jesus clearly wasn't born in December.
Right. That's just when we choose to celebrate it. Absolutely. Right. So, yeah. Point is, I'm sorry if you want a little bit more shine for Thanksgiving, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, bro. Sorry. Because, I mean, what else is there aside from pie and turkey and cranberry sauce?
I'm just going to say, for all the people who are like mad at people for putting up their trees and singing Christmas songs already, how does that affect you?
It's like bro, chill. It's like I get why people are mad, but I also get why people are in a rush to put their trees up. My personal opinion, damn son, can we eat first? Can we eat Thanksgiving first?
Cause we used to put up our tree right after Thanksgiving. But honestly, the older I get, the earlier I want to put it up, because we travel usually for the holidays. So I feel like by the time I put it up, I don't even get to enjoy it long enough because we're always on the road. So I would put it up in October. Like,
and with that said, since we travel so much, the only reason that I help you with putting it up is because you want to.
Exactly, because it is kind of pointless for us to put up the tree because we're never here for Christmas. But that's okay. Once we get a house and some chillins, then I'm gonna have like 30 trees, and I'm gonna put them up when I want to. I'll put them up in July if I want to, and y'all please say something about it. I honestly hum Christmas songs without even realize it all year long. So
you do.
So what you gonna do about it if you mad? Like,
don't want a lot for Christmas.
I was
because at one point, every time you plugged your phone up in the car, that would be the first song that plays.
Yeah, because it's in alphabetical order.
Oh my gosh! Please download something else that starts with an A. And then you finally downloaded "Always Be My Baby," so that comes on first now.
Well, I deleted "All I Want for Christmas" off my iPhone, so that way "Always Be My Baby" was next in the queue. And now that's getting on my nerves. I'm ready to delete it too.
Download "ADHD" by Kendrick Lamar. Or
I don't want it to get on my nerves though. You see what I'm saying? Whatever song. Anyway, point is, let people enjoy whatever they want to enjoy whenever.
Right, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but man, yeah.
So good luck, Steve. Go ahead and put your tree up if you haven't already, and go ahead and start listening to.
Hey, hold on, nah, that was his point.
My mind.
Go ahead and I see what you did there, but have yourself a Thanksgiving party. Because, I mean, other than the meal itself, what is Thanksgiving?
Right.
So go ahead and throw yourself a Thanksgiving party. You know? Turn up for Thanksgiving. Do whatever you want to do. Because I...
Dress up like a turkey.
Dress up like, all of that. So, yeah. Have fun. Because otherwise, I mean, who else? Who gonna check you, first of all? Who gonna check you?
So that is all we have this week for our listener letters. Be sure to send us more questions at askttrl@gmail.com. That's askttrl@gmail.com. You can also just shoot us a DM or text us if you know us in real life. But I really like the emails because we get like the full story and the full background and exactly what you meant and all of that. And if you want to give yourself a fake name, you can. If not, I'll create one for you.
If you really just want to put yourself out there because you got the time today and you want to say a real name, indicate that and we'll consider it.
So, as we always do, we're wrapping up this show with our love life advice for the week. And just a little quick tip in general for you, which is, for this week, it is work on your relationship with your parents.
Absolutely.
Heal from your childhood trauma.
Yes.
And you will be shocked at how that actually helps your romantic relationship.
Why do you say how so?
Because there is so much of who we are comes from our family of origin, whether we intend it to or not. A lot of times the way we grew up, we either end up saying, I want to be just like my mom, or I want to be just like my dad, or, oh, I am definitely not doing what they did. I'm doing no matter what we say, even if we say we're not going to do what they did, because that's what we grew up seeing, we end up replicating that on accident.
Yeah.
And it's like, dang, I didn't even mean to do that. Like, and I just think when you dig a little bit deeper in your relationship with your parents and have like true heart to hearts and really kind of unpack what they did when you were a kid, when you were a teenager, your early 20s, why they did it, when you really unpack that stuff and just like not argue and fuss and fight. I'm not talking about I'm gonna confront you and all that. I'm talking about like just sitting down like two adults having a real conversation and being real and open and transparent and receptive. Man, that just really, it impacts who you are and it heals parts of you and it makes you better for your partner. And it also helps you just, I don't know, it just helps you kind of see the world a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I wholeheartedly agree. I spent a big chunk of my early adulthood life and probably a lot of my teenage years life too, saying things like, I don't want to be nothing like my dad. And we had like a really big falling out at one point and didn't talk for about 7 years. And unfortunately, it took me losing my grandmother for us to reconcile, my mom's mom. And, you know, it really sucks that it happened that way. But, you know, we both clearly had things going on and we just had to, I guess, grow from it. But, you know, like, sometimes you got to talk it out. Talk it out, get over it, you know, move past it. Because like those 7 years, we're not gonna get those 7 years back. So now we got to take what we got left and make the best of it. So it's just like, you know, sometimes it's gonna hurt. Sometimes it'll hurt talking about stuff. Sometimes it'll be painful to bring up stuff that happened X amount of years ago. And sometimes the other person might not even realize what was going on.
Yes.
So you have to be vocal, communicate your feelings. Don't worry about how you sound, don't worry about how you look. You have to be concerned with how you feel and how you live, because nobody else is going to live your life and nobody else can feel your feelings. So you have to make these things known. And, you know, you should be able to communicate with your parents, first of all. And if you can't, you tell them that. Look, I feel like I can't talk to you, parent. Why can't I talk to you? Why are we having such a hard time communicating? And sometimes you might not need to talk for some years. As much as it hurt, it did suck when it happened to me and my dad. But where we are now, we're in a much better place. And it's frankly awesome where we are now. You know, it sucks that it had to happen that way. But at the end of the day, all you can do is really move forward. So communicate.
And my mom and I didn't have like the big falling out like you and your dad, but we definitely had moments and times where we, you know, had arguments or we swept stuff under the rug. We had issues and just really, frankly, I just am a daddy's girl. I always just been closer to my dad for whatever reason. And absolutely love my mom. We get along great. We have a lot in common, but you know, there are certain things I wouldn't tell her. And recently we just had this amazing heart to heart and just were able to, I think for the first time, speak as two women. And I think I finally reached that age where, you know, she felt comfortable confiding in me with some stuff. I was able to open to her up about stuff. And I just feel like that whole conversation, it was literally like a whole day long conversation. We just like kept picking it up. I feel like that made me a better woman. I feel like it's going to make me a better wife, and I feel like it's going to make me a better mother, because that mother-daughter relationship is, you know, infamous for like being difficult. But I think it doesn't necessarily have to be. You know, we kind of grew up in that era where kids were meant to be seen and not heard. You were told, just sit back and listen. You were told, you know, stay out of grown folks' business, all of that. And so we weren't allowed to have a voice or an opinion. Anything we said was considered disrespectful. Mm-hmm. And so the older I get, the more I get into therapy, the more I learn, you know, through podcasts and things like that about how to be a better, more effective communicator. I just feel like so much healing and clarity from just learning how to communicate with people. So if you have a difficult relationship with your parents and you feel like you can't have that conversation, I would recommend that you know, go to therapy and try to at least work through childhood trauma or whatever you went through on your own. But if you feel like you know, the window opens for you to be able to communicate with your parents, I just think it just really helps with your romantic relationship, because I mean, your relationship with your parents, that was your first relationship. And so, you know, that's kind of the example, and that's how you learn how to love. And so it's just so healing. So that's my advice, is to try to, and that's always something I just wanted to do. Just like, you know what, before I join my life with a whole nother person, a whole human, you know, we all have baggage. Everybody has it. Mm-hmm. But, you know, let me try to clean up my internal and external life as much as possible. And, you know, I'm just very grateful for many opportunities to do so before we jump this broom. But you better believe I'm still going to therapy after we get married.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That was the first thing I did when I got back from all these trips, was go straight to my therapist.
Exactly.
I didn't see my therapist for like 2 months. First thing I did. But yeah, it was cool. Even while we were traveling, I got to hang out with my dad. You got to hang out with your mom, and things are much better than they were.
Absolutely.
And hopefully, it won't take losing another family member for you and your situation. But you seriously have to learn to accept the good with the bad.
Absolutely.
Find the silver lining and stuff. And more importantly, remember, not everybody can read your feelings. Not everybody knows your inner thoughts. In most cases, people won't. So you have to just
express yourself.
Thank you. Express yourself. But yeah.
Also, shout out to one of our listeners for letting us know that they decided to go to therapy after listening. That just makes me so happy. It warms my heart. And I will say that I was going to therapy before I found the podcast, but they really normalized therapy for me. So shout out to Kid Fury and Crystal for always just speaking out about depression and anxiety and any other mental health battles, and for normalizing therapy, particularly in the Black community. And that is something we strive to do as well. So if you don't have a therapist, find one ASAP.
It's such a good feeling to know that somebody's going to therapy because of something we said.
That makes me so happy.
It
makes me want to book an appointment with my therapist.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. I would say sorry that this is a super long episode, but y'all said y'all missed us, so here you go.
Here you go.
But again, welcome back, and thanks for tuning in once again. We are super excited to be back in these chairs and chatting with you. We love you.
We're sitting in chairs, by the way.
We love you, and we hope you have a great week, y'all. Keep it real. Be easy. Love yourself. Love someone else. And make sure you're following us.
Instagram and Twitter, THERY_C. Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat.
And I am at, what am I? I am T-Car. And you can follow the show at This Is TTRL. Make sure you're following us. Help us get our followers up. Please. Share it with a friend. Share it with a stranger. We appreciate all your support. Have a great week.
Peace.